Good morning, Andrew. How are you this morning?
Please.
That's good. Now, Andrew, you correct me if I'm wrong with your title. You are our Queensland Sales Manager for realestate.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Good. I'm glad I got that right.
No worries.
Okay. What's the local news? What's the local property market doing this week, in your opinion?
Yeah, look, there's been, I suppose, some really exciting releases, and that reading an article the other day about some 70 square metre house and land packages and so forth in the Caboolture area.
Yes.
And some townhouse developments and that sort of thing. So, very positive side of things there, that some stuff is starting to kick on.
Yes, we did see that in the paper. It's had some mixed reception, but I think generally speaking, it's showing that people and developers are starting to want to do something that may help the property owner out there.
Yeah, exactly, and some other infrastructure, and certainly other developments. Like I believe there's going to be a new pub and function centre and hotel on that before the Bribey Bridge on the right hand side there. So apparently some land has been cleared, so that's great for the region.
Yes, let's hope things can progress. Okay, it's nearly the end of the financial year. What can investment property owners do before the 30th of June that might bring financial gain? Or is it too late for them to do anything? What's your opinion?
No, look, you've got obviously a couple of days, but you would need to act fast. So there's obviously some things there with regards to investment properties. Consider, paying some of your expenses in advance before the end of financial year. There's obviously deductible things there with body corporates, agent fees, and so forth that people can take advantage of. I'd certainly be talking to your accountant on that as well for what's best for your situation, and probably a good time to bring forward any maintenance or repairs that might need doing to be able to get in this financial year.
I know from my point of view, with my property management team, the end of financial month for November, we sent. November, last month, we sent out a flyer to all of our investment owners to say, look, try and get all your maintenance issues sorted now, because that then gives us time to organise, the contractors, get the work done, get the invoice in and get the account paid so that it is done in time for you for the financial year.
Yeah, and it's great you've done that, and I've got some investment properties myself, and my property management has done the same thing, and it's great because it makes you maximise your investment. Yeah,
and also hopefully keeps the tenant happy that there's some improvements done as well.
Well, that's the name of the game. We want to keep a happy tenant and a long tenant.
Exactly. All right, now, well, we're into winter. Traditionally, it's a great time to literally, get your house into order. First up, Andrew, what do you know about consumers looking at your site over winter?
Yeah, look, it's interesting. I grabbed some stats that we have regarding winter traffic, and last year in winter we had over what they call 6.8 million unique browsers visiting realestate.com.au. And as we're going through winter at the moment, we don't quite have the June figures, but certainly leading into it with May was 6.3 million unique browsers. So certainly some really strong numbers there of people continuing to look. They may not be out and about, but they're certainly doing those online inspections.
That is interesting, because it's not much of a difference, is it, between this year and last year?
No, it's the people haven't disappeared. They're still out there and have that passion for property. They're just very astute, doing their research and watching the market and so forth. And
I gather that you would see a lot of that with your statistics, that you can pull those figures out and get a true comparison.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can, I suppose, separate between buyers and certainly sellers, and we know that 9 out of 10 use our website to buy a property, but 7 out of 10 actually use it to research our site to actually sell a property. So they're certainly doing a lot of looking and so forth over the time to make sure that they've got all the right information, etc. And they can take up to 7 months to research the market before being ready to actually put their property up for sale.
Actually, that's a very valid point, because you do see it, and we see, people wishing to list their homes are so much more informed these days because of the likes of your website and the information that's out there. They seem to be much more informed as to what they want and what they're hoping to achieve.
Yeah, look, and I think that's a good thing for agents and for consumers, because people are doing a bit of that pre-qualification work themselves. So you can have that next level of conversation and that with them. So certainly a valuable piece of information there for them.
And I think from an agent's point of view, from qualifying the buyer, I think the buyer now has more idea of what they want to do and what they can afford and what is out there by going through the site.
Yeah, so when they do get to chat to their agent, the agent will certainly ask them some great questions and to just drill down a bit more to find out exactly what they're interested in and maybe suggest some things in neighbouring areas and so forth. So getting to that next level of conversation and bringing in the skills of the agent, it's a valuable combination there that, say, they're heading into that next direction. And I suppose gone are the years of the agent having to drive people around to all the areas to introduce them to them. They're now already got them at the front doors of the property to have that next level conversation.
Actually, I think in our last conversation we actually addressed the point of now buyers wishing to have their address on their property, whereas in years gone past, agents we really didn't give that information out, or it wasn't out there. We had the people come through the door, get them in the car and do that, whereas now a lot of people are wanting the addresses on the property, and the people are checking that out more so and wanting to know or have a better idea of what they're after when they come in.
Yeah, exactly. And I think combination of things there, your mobile devices being your smartphones and tablets being your iPads, etc., that, people have got that information in the palm of their hand and, they want to do that search from work or from home and, they might be interstate and we've just had our recent data released that, we know 38% of searches to Queensland listings at the moment are coming from people who don't actually live in Queensland. So they rely on the mapping tools and satellite images to get a feel for the area before maybe coming up here to look at the property.
And it was actually interesting that you said it's in the palm of their hands. It literally is in the palm of their hands these days, isn't it?
It really is, and talking to agents out there, they've seeing it as I keep mentioning that online inspection. There's a physical inspection, but it's an online inspection. It's no longer just having a look at it or a quick view online. It's actually an inspection of the property because they're going right through all the rooms, reading all the information, the area information, etc. So the idea is to present that really well.
And that's where the virtual tour also comes into play as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, maximum photos, good information about it. Don't hold back any information thinking that'll get someone to inquire because we want maximum information to make an informed decision to then go that next step to want to talk to the agent.
Well, I think we're finding that. Okay, for those with investment properties that want to make the maximum impact with the minimum spend on improving their property, what's some of the quick and easy things they can do that will increase the buyer interest?
Yeah, look, certainly. I think the key here is that, someone is looking to buy a house and, or a property that you want to certainly declutter. And I think you see that through all the reality shows and so forth about less is more. Certainly let the light in, basically get everything cleaned up through windows, curtains, etc. Make it sparkle, so get those carpets and floorboards looking their best. As we mentioned, even with the investment properties, fix those minor repairs. You don't want people coming in looking at things going, I need to do that. So, certainly get all those minor repairs taken care of. Certainly your outside, the clean-up of any garden areas. I think, that first impression, if someone does a drive-by after hours or anything like that, you really want to make that wow factor from the presentation at the front of the property would be some good tips there just to do it. And interesting, we actually did a survey that we found that homeowners will generally spend up to about $5,000 making improvements to their home before selling. So certainly a great investment and helps present the property in its true light.
It's actually quite funny. You say that they will spend up to $5,000. As agents, we talk to people and say you need to do this and you need to that, and it's amazing the amount of owners that have said, oh look, we've always been meaning to do that, or we were going to do that, and we were going to do that, and then they actually do it, and they say things like, oh, don't really know if I should sell now.
They fall back in love with their own property.
They do. It's interesting. One of the points, I guess, that is difficult for a salesperson, telling a buyer, okay, or a homeowner, you need to, declutter, clean this up, clean that out. Often our idea of declutter and their idea of declutter, whilst it still has to remain homely for them, can be quite difficult for them to accept.
Yeah, look, it's that transition of moving on from your property, and I suppose you're trying to allow someone to see the property as they would want to buy it and live in it, not as you actually live in it as such. And it is a transition. It's sad sometimes to leave a particular property, especially if you've been there for a while. But it's all about it, making it enticing to that next buyer, that they'll see that this property as being their next home and not feel like they're, stepping in and invading your area, so to speak. So certainly, and I think the other thing is, before you go and spend any serious money on renovations or things like that, is talk to your agent. They're going to be able to cast a critical eye over your home, give you some really practical advice on things that you can do that's going to increase that buyer interest, because they're dealing with buyers all the time and know what they're actually looking for. So spending your money in the right area could pay off in dividends.
Now, Andrew, you touched on the fact of as many photos, as much information as you can give. Now, obviously, realestate.com, so many people view it. Photos are the first impression that many of them see when they go onto your site. We've noticed over the last few years that more and more people are open to spending some money on professional photographs for their home. Are you seeing more of that sort of photography coming through your site?
Yeah, definitely. Photos are one of the biggest things used on the site, and getting those quality images and getting the right angles and lighting can make a big difference between, I suppose, a happy snap with your own camera and even some of the good SLRs out there. But just the way professional photographers and that can actually stage a room, etc. They'll move some things around, and as I say, you're looking at it as preparing your property as an online inspection, and you want to have it appealing as best you can. Other things to consider is also some lifestyle shots around the area. So you might have great parks, playgrounds, etc. You want to build those into your photo portfolio as well, because give people a real feel for, if I live in this property, what am I going to be enjoying about the area, and that as well as enjoying the actual property that I've purchased. So
true, because it's not just the home, is it? It's your surrounds as well.
Oh, we buy a lifestyle as well.
Exactly.
So definitely.
Okay, Andrew, I thank you very much for your time. That's been Andrew Turner from realestate.com, and thank you once again, Andrew. Much pleasure.
Lovely. Thank you very much.